My name is Dave Planch, and I'm a marketing executive here in Austin. Progress Texas serves a vital role in our public discourse by countering the right-wing propaganda machine that exists out there that has led to so many things that are bad for our democracy and for our country.
It's Monday, May 2nd, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. Governor Greg Abbott is set to sign Senate Bill 2, establishing what will eventually become a multi-billion-dollar private school voucher program in Texas into law tomorrow on Saturday. It's a historic moment by just about any measure, and only time will tell how history will view that moment in years to come. But in other states, similar maneuvering of taxpayer education dollars have resulted in massive budget-busting deficits, while mainly wealthier families have ended up ahead with that money that otherwise would have helped support frequently faltering public school districts. Jasper Shearer is out with a lengthy postmortem on how the governor managed to push this massive priority of his over on the taxpayers of the Lone Star State for the Texas Tribune. If you're a regular here, you already know the TLDR. Abbott took millions of dollars from out-of-state donors and used it to replace rural Republican state representatives who had the gall to back their small-town schools back home. And running mostly ads related to immigration, appealing to the xenophobia in those communities, replaced those lawmakers with new ones who were willing to go along with vouchers. And that's pretty much it. Ben Sawyers at WFAA in Dallas says the governor plans to sign SB 2 into law tomorrow at the governor's mansion at about 2 p.m. Meanwhile, where's that other big education funding bill, House Bill 2? You know, the one promising what Republicans have called a historic game-changing increase in public school funding, incentives and pay raises for teachers, expanded support for special needs kids, all the stuff that was supposed to make the voucher scam easier to swallow for its opponents and the millions of Texans who were denied an opportunity to vote on it. Notice a somewhat innocuous tweet from Scott Braddock of the Quorum Report, the best-sourced journalist at the Capitol, just ask him, replying to a user who had asked the same question, any news on HB 2 moving through the Senate? Braddock's reply was, quote, no, sir. And it's concerning that Texas Republican leadership isn't moving public education funding in tandem with vouchers as promised, unquote. Looking into it, HB 2 was referred to the Senate Education K-16 Committee on April 23rd, which as of this morning is 10 days ago, with no further action noted at present. The Texas legislature's regular session is scheduled to end on June 2nd, 1 month from today. For HB 2 to progress, it would need to be voted out of committee, passed by the House, and then considered by the Senate before the session concludes. With all the hype around vouchers and the prize won for private schools and wealthy Texas families, could the Texas GOP be hoping we forget about the support that was promised to our public schools? We'll be watching, and so should you. There is forward motion on what appear to be higher Republican priorities at the Capitol at the moment. Daniel Perot at KVUE-TV in Austin reports on the House's approval on Wednesday of a bill that would ban Texans under 18 from using social media at all. In this day and age, almost like banning them from using oxygen. The pitfalls of social media among young people are obvious and at the same time still not fully understood. That's a crucial area for study and regulation where it's warranted, but an outright ban carries privacy implications for all of us, as we'll all now be required to divulge information to prove our age that may not have been required before. Yet another ham-fisted and poorly considered bill with little chance of doing good before it does massive harm. And even as measles continues to spread across Texas and beyond, Terry Lankford at the Texas Tribune says the House Public Health Committee approved a bill that will make it easier for Texans to opt themselves and their kids out of vaccinations. All 6 Democrats on that committee, Reps Liz Campos, John Busey, Nicole Collier, Ann Johnson, Jolanda Jones, and Lauren Ashley Simmons voted no, but they were outnumbered by the 7 Republicans who all voted in favor of that bill, which was heavily opposed by public testimony. Terry Burke, executive director of the Immunization Partnership, a nonprofit that advocates for vaccination access and education, told the Trib, quote, once again, the legislature is ignoring the will of their constituents. More people testified against this bill in committee than testified for it, and 72% of the written comments opposed it. So who are these people representing, unquote? And that is a terrific question. News out of Texas with national implications. The New York Times reports that federal judge Fernando Rodriguez Jr., a Trump appointee no less, has permanently blocked the Trump administration from using the Alien Enemies Act to deport Venezuelans from the Southern District of Texas, ruling that its application of the 18th century wartime law was illegal because that law, intended for use only against citizens of hostile nations during declared wars or invasions, could not be applied to modern immigration issues. His ruling went beyond prior Supreme Court guidance, which required that Venezuelans facing deportation be allowed to challenge their removal by stating the administration had improperly expanded the law's scope. Rodriguez's decision covers Venezuelans in the Southern District of Texas and may influence similar cases nationwide. He rejected the Trump Justice Department's argument that courts lacked authority to review the president's use of the law and found that key terms like invasion referred to military actions, not the activities of criminal gangs, dismissing Trump's excuse that Venezuelan gangs are somehow tied to that country's government. ACLU lead lawyer Lee Gallant praised the ruling, saying, quote, "This decision correctly recognized that the president cannot simply declare there's an invasion and invoke a wartime authority during peacetime. As the court recognized, Congress never intended this law to be used in this manner," unquote. The fate of nearly 140 Venezuelans deported to what amounts to a death camp in El Salvador remains unresolved, and the ACLU is seeking their return against the opposition of Trump's Justice Department. Judge Rodriguez's order blocks further detentions or deportations in his district unless overturned on appeal, which would be the Trump regime's next move here. Not only is voting essential, but voting is fun, and progressive Texans should be voting in every election, every time. Election day is tomorrow, Saturday, May 3rd. Most county websites will have a sample ballot you can have a look at beforehand, and lots more on voting in Texas can be found at our online resource, govotexas.org. We also direct you to progresstexas.com for a new piece by advocacy manager Reagan Stone, who reminds us that, quote, "Voting in local elections is more than a civic duty. It's a powerful way to influence the policies and decisions that affect our daily lives. From the quality of local infrastructure and services to fostering programs that support working families and your future, you have a chance to directly put your vote on where your values stand," unquote. And well said. Watch for more from Reagan on this podcast feed coming up later today. San Antonio and Austin friends, Progress Texas is proud to welcome San Antonio Mayor Ron Nirenberg as our guest for a live podcast taping at our Party for Progress this coming Tuesday evening, and you're invited. We look forward to a long overdue visit to Alamo City on Tuesday, May 6th. Again, live pod taping with Mayor Ron Nirenberg and good fun with you in San Antonio. See the show notes and get your tickets right now. We'll see you this Tuesday. Thanks to Austin Kaplan and the Kaplan Law Firm, Nicolette Ardiente, Shannon Hernseer, Will Judy, Tracy Miller, Jeremy Nelson, Julianne Reeves, Patricia Smothers, Holly Taylor, and more for their generous support of our San Antonio Party for Progress. And DFW and North Texas friends, please mark your calendars for Monday, June the 9th. That's our 15th anniversary celebration in Dallas, and we look forward to seeing y'all there as well. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, but they far outmatch us in funding. Oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups spend a lot of money keeping their audiences in the dark. If you've come to appreciate the light that we shine on important political news in Texas on a daily, ongoing basis, please know that our regular, everyday listeners form a key component of our funding. If that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. Thanks to Yasmin Simon, John Cotter, and Clayton Tucker, all three of whom are on the team. We appreciate all of y'all. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Friday, May 2nd, 2025. Links to all of these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit, rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day and a great weekend. Don't forget to vote. We'll see you again on Monday.